Welcome back. Well, Australia's legendary economics reporter Robert Gottliebsen writes that former Prime Minister Paul Keating is white hot with anger over the super tax and plans to tax unrealised capital gains. He writes that it goes against our highly prized superannuation scheme that Keating established. And Gottliebsen reports that in due course, the former Prime Minister and Treasurer will go public with a withering blast against Chalmers, more intense than any ever directed to a cabinet minister. And I'm pleased to say Robert joins me now. Robert, good to see you. Look, you have written amazing columns on this topic, and you're saying that you're concerned that there is this campaign building against the Albanese government. The issue is that they have the numbers in the Senate to get this through. So do you think that the Prime Minister and Treasurer will reconsider their position?
I don't know. They obviously should do that, but when politicians are locked into a situation that's stupid and they've got it wrong, they find it very, very difficult to change. I can't forecast that. All I can say is that the damage they're going to do to the economy and the damage they'll particularly do to our capital raising ability it will be severe.
Now, as I just read there, you're reporting that both Paul Keating and Bill Kelty are concerned about this legislation. What are their main concerns?
Well, you have to understand what Paul Keating was trying to do with superannuation, and that was to have a retirement savings pool of great magnitude, but where all people of different levels of wealth and income participated in this exercise. Now, what he now knows is that about a third of the funds, that's the self-managed funds, won't put up with a tax on unrealised gains, and they will take their savings elsewhere in due course. And so what will happen is exactly what he didn't want to happen. That is a superannuation movement that's dominated by the lower income and middle income people instead of the whole society. And as I understand it, he equates it with Medicare. Everyone uses Medicare. Some people get bulk billed, some get a little bit of rebate, others get more rebate. But everyone's in it. And that's his vision of superannuation. And that's what Chalmers appears to go, well, he's going to destroy it if he keeps going.
And you're hearing that Kittings, as you write, white hot with anger about this.
White hot is well understated. Imagine, how would you feel if you'd set up this vision and you'd got it there, and it was now producing it, and a young treasurer turns up and he says, I'm going to do something really tough on your movement. Can you imagine? I heard you play some of Kittings' remarks. Well, just double those, because here he's attacking the whole vision of this former treasurer.
And he's been active. He's been speaking to some of the industry super funds. Is that right?
Well, yes, of course. Or they probably ring him up. Yeah. The thing is that everybody knows this is silly, and you'd have to think Chalmers must know it too. But it's as I said to you before, it's very hard for politicians to understand it. Just take you back a little bit as to what they are doing. You remember we agreed roughly as a community that for income on superannuation balances above 3 million, it should be taxed at 30% instead of 15%. Now, what you and I would have done, and just about everyone else in the nation, would have said, OK, if we're going to do that, we'll tax that second 15%, albeit at 30%, but at the same method. Exactly the same methods we use for the first 15% will apply to the second 15%. It's sensible, it makes sense. But instead of that, young Jim, what he did was, he said, oh, no, I'm going to have a new tax. I'm going to, in that second 15%, I'm going to tax you on your unrealised gains. Almost no one in the world has ever done that. And he then said to Treasury, look, estimate how much I'll get. And Treasury gave him that estimate. But of course, they didn't account the fact that a whole lot of people are going to leave superannuation. In fact, the estimates will be wrong over 2 or 3 years. And so, it's the sort of thing you shouldn't do, but it's hard to admit mistakes.